Sleepy, Snoozy, Coozy, Coozy, a book of animal beds, written by Judy Young and illustrated by Michael Glenn Monroe. In the branches of a tree, an eagle sits so worry-free. He shuts his eyes to get some rest, all comfy in his great big nest. A sticky, twiggy, very biggy, round and scratchy, feathery patchy. Picky, pokey, piney, oaky, place where you won't lay your head, but to an eagle it's a bed. Did you know? Eagles build the biggest nests of all birds, up to 10 feet wide and weighing several tons. These nests are like huge platforms made of sticks with a soft layer of moss, leaves, and grasses on top. Eagles return to the same nest each summer, year after year. They live on it until their babies fly away. Eagles have 3 eyelids. They close 2 when they sleep. The third is used to clean their eyes when they blink. How many eyelids do you close when you sleep? Way down deep, deep in the ground, in tunnels winding all around, softly sleeps a little mole, curled up snugly in his hole. A dirty, yucky, muck-a-lucky, dark and dreary, not too cheery. Tight and crampy, needs a lampy, place where you won't lay your head, but to a mole it is a bed. Did you know? Moles live in underground tunnels where they find worms, larvae, and insects to eat. Digging up to 60 feet a day, they loosen the dirt with their thick claws. Then they use their strong, shovel-like feet to push the dirt from the tunnel into a mound around the tunnel's entrance. They dig a special nesting chamber lined with fine grasses to raise their young. Moles dig and eat for about 4 hours, then sleep for another 4. How long do you sleep? In tall grasses of a glade, a spider weaves from blade to blade, up and down and flow and ebb, until he climbs onto his web. A springy, stringy, oh so clingy, frail and flossy, quite criss-crossy. Sticky, tacky, stay way backy, place where you won't lay your head, but to a spider it's a bed. Did you know? Many spiders build webs using strong silk threads made by special glands called spinnerets, located at the tip of the spider's abdomen. Some threads are sticky, others are not. The spider sits on its web and waits. When an insect gets caught on a sticky thread, the web vibrates and the spider runs along the non-sticky threads to get its meal. It's not known if spiders sleep every day, but some hibernate in winter with their legs pulled in close to their bodies. Do you curl up to sleep too? In a stream where water gushes, scooting backward a crayfish rushes, to a spot it calls its own, way beneath a rocky stone. A wet and drippy, cold and nippy, stony zony, all aloney. Crushing, cramming, watery slamming, place where you won't lay your head, but to a crayfish it's a bed. Did you know? Crayfish, also called crawfish or crawdads, live in streams, rivers, lakes, and ponds. They walk forward, eating vegetation, worms, insects, and snails, crushing and tearing their food with their pincer claws. When threatened, they quickly scoot backward, finding shelter under a nearby rock or in a muddy burrow. A crayfish sleeps during the day, often on its side, holding on to a rock or the mud with one of its 10 legs. Do you sleep on your side? Near the banks of a river, through a hole just a sliver, a beaver dives and then he kicks into his lodge of logs and sticks. A limb and loggy, dim and soggy, crusty, cruddy, dried up muddy, leafy, willowy, not too pillowy, place where you won't lay your head, but to a beaver it's a bed. Did you know? Beavers use sticks, rocks, and mud to build lodges by the banks of streams and rivers, or in the middle of ponds or lakes. To enter the lodge, beavers dive underwater and swim into a tunnel that leads upward to 2 chambers above the water's surface. One chamber is where the beaver dries off. The other is where it sleeps, eats, and raises its young. Beavers are nocturnal, sleeping during the day on beds of grasses and leafy twigs, which they can eat later. Can you eat your bed? In a cavern underground, from the ceiling upside down, clinging with his feet so tight, is where a bat will spend the night. A cold and clammy, bit toe jammy, dark and spacious, quite curvaceous, drafty, airy, dank and scary, place where you won't lay your head, but to a bat it is a bed. Did you know? Bats are the only mammals that can truly fly. They sleep hanging upside down, holding on to the ceilings of caves, rock ledges, tree limbs, and even in attics and barns. Their wings are not strong enough to lift themselves in flight, so when they want to fly, they simply let go and drop into flight. Bats are nocturnal, sleeping during the day with their wings wrapped around their bodies. What do you wrap around you when you sleep? In among the cypress trees, blending in so no one sees, a gator looking like a log snoozes near a swampy bog. A hot and buggy, mossy, muggy, sleazy, slimy, all the timey, lakey, snaky, stay awakey, place where you won't lay your head, but to a gator it's a bed. Did you know? Alligators dig out gator holes, long water-filled hollows in the mud where they will stay in extreme hot or cold weather. They sleep during the day, basking in the sun with their eyes closed. Often, their mouths are wide open, which helps them stay cool. Alligators do not sleep while floating. They may look like they're asleep floating in the water, but they are awake and can quickly go after unsuspecting prey. Do you ever pretend to be asleep? Near the ocean, near the sea, where waves crash and tumble free, a hermit crab does very well, sleeping in a borrowed shell. A spindly, spiny, way too tiny, sandy, gritty, itty-bitty, tight and toomy, not too roomy, place where you won't lay your head, but to this crab it is a bed. Did you know? A hermit crab cannot grow its own shell. To protect its soft abdomen from predators, the hermit crab uses empty shells made by other creatures, mostly sea snails. It climbs in backward with its claws near the shell's opening and carries this borrowed home around with it until it grows out of it. Then it finds a bigger shell for its home. Hermit crabs are nocturnal, sleeping during the day in their borrowed shells. Do you ever borrow a bed to sleep in? In the forest thick with trees, a moose will bend his wobbly knees. Laying down he starts to snore, sleeping on the forest floor. A dark and freaky, sometimes leaky, dirty, beetly, pinecone needly, brushy, bushy, not too cushy, place where you won't lay your head, but to a moose it is a bed. Did you know? Moose make their homes in the open tundra, boggy wetlands, mountain meadows, and deep forests of the northern parts of the United States and Canada. A single moose's home range may cover up to 25 square miles. When a moose gets tired, it lays down to sleep wherever it happens to be. Moose sleep at night but wake up early, before dawn, and go to bed late after dusk. Do you wake up before dawn? Do you go to bed after dusk? In the desert, hot and dry, where the sun glares from the sky, the little kit fox likes to stay in his den, asleep all day. A hidden hollow, slim and smallow, dark as nighty, out of sighty. Scruffy, scrubby, little cubby, place where you won't lay your head, but to this fox it is a bed. Did you know? Living in the deserts of the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, the kit fox is nocturnal, avoiding the desert heat by sleeping in dens during the day. It may dig dens in the sandy soil, take over dens made by other animals, or even sleep in man-made structures such as drainage pipes. The smallest fox in North America, the kit fox moves from den to den. It may sleep in up to 24 different dens a year. How many places do you sleep in? In the ocean far and wide, swimming, diving through the tide, a world so wet, so dark and deep, that's where a dolphin goes to sleep. A black and bluey, see right throughy, swooshy, swishy, full of fishy, salty, foamy, watery homey, place where you won't lay your head, but to a dolphin it's a bed. Did you know? Dolphins are mammals and must go above the water's surface to breathe. But unlike most mammals, dolphins must think about when to take a breath. And they can't think about breathing if they are totally asleep. So only half of a dolphin's brain goes to sleep and only one eye closes at a time. The other half stays awake to think about breathing. After about 2 hours, one side wakes up and the other side goes to sleep. Do you have to think about breathing when you sleep? In a room that's in a home, on a mattress soft as foam, a little child curls up to sleep, underneath the blankets deep. A silky, puffy, toasty, fluffy, comfy, dreamy, warm moonbeamy, sleepy, snoozy, cozy, coozy, place where you might lay your head, for you're a child and it's your bed. Did you know? Children live in many different types of homes. Most children live in houses, house trailers, or apartment buildings. Some children may live in a hotel, a tent, a lean-to, or even on a boat. What kind of home do you live in? Children usually sleep at night, but may take a nap during the day too. Most children sleep on a bed, but some sleep in a crib, on a cot, or a couch, in a hammock, or on a mat. What do you sleep on?